Hey guys, I promised you I was going to read some of John Anderson's stories, and this is going to be the first one. It's actually my personal favorite of the ones that are featured on his website, and it is called When Toola Forgot Her Song. Feel free if you want to go to the website, open up the text, and read along with me. And here we go. When Toola Forgot Her Song by John and Jane Anderson. I just wanted to draw a bird song, that's all. It's very hard, you know. They sing such wonderful songs to each other. I was told that music, songs, and melodies are always in the air, and birds seem to know every song in the whole world. Every songbird sings its own part of the whole song of life. They call it sing-birding or bird singing. It depends on which branch of the tree you're sitting. Well, one fine spring day, Toola, a very young yellow-green joy-bird, went out to sing with all her friends. It was the best thing in the world to do, not only because you enjoy the music of each other, but also because you wake up nature, the flowers, the bees, and the insects, because without bird songs, nothing would ever wake up, including humans. This day was the day the first rains came. Rain was always expected, so when it arrived, Toola and her friends went to their favorite big tree to sit under its large leaves and sing a little. The rain just kept on pouring down, and after 3 days non-stop, Toola, with her family and folks, decided to go to the largest tree in the wood, the master tree, and spend time in the warm nesting hollows that were scattered all over the tree. This tree was as ancient as the sun and was so happy to have all the company, as field mice had arrived, along with a few jackrabbits. Because of this tree's incredibly large undergrowth, deer would come and hide and, of course, keep warm and dry. The squirrels who lived in the tree began to get a bit miffed because of all the new arrivals. At first they didn't say much, but after a week of constant rain and bird singing for what seemed like almost every minute on the minute, they got really miffed, extremely miffed, and decided to do something about it. The squirrel family, all 5 of them, went up to the top of the tree where they kept most of their hazelnuts and other luscious things, which they were saving for a rainy day, and devised a plan. Every now and then Toola and her clan would come out onto the big branches to sing, even though the rain was pelting down. It was their duty to keep things going. This they had known ever since birth. They understood that if they ever stopped singing, the whole world would stop. Just like that. Well, this one morning, when Toola was out on the branches with her friends, singing about the joys of the morning, bonk, bink, bonk, nuts were flying everywhere. Yes, the squirrels had had enough of the singing, and had begun to throw nuts at our beautiful friends the birds. Bonk! Bink! The master tree found this quite funny, and started giggling right down to his roots, making the earth shake as well. The deer, jackrabbits, and field mice came out to see what all the commotion was, and then, bonk! A nut hit Toola right on her head. And all of a sudden, to everyone's amazement, everything just stopped. The raindrops hung in midair, glistening with rainbow colors. The wind even stopped blowing. All went quiet as Toola forgot what she had always remembered. Her song. The song was gone, completely gone from her head. Well, you can imagine the confusion. The field mice didn't scurry around, the deer didn't munch on the grass, the jackrabbits stopped jumping, and the master tree stopped giggling. Such was the world without the sweet sound of bird singing. Walter the owl was the first on the scene. He knew everything. That is why everyone called him Walter the Wise. He looked at Toola and pondered. He thought and thought and pondered and looked at Toola again for what seemed like the whole day. In fact, it was getting dark when Walter decided what to do. He took Toola by the wing, and they flew off to the moon, to talk with the moon spirit known as the Big Cheese, who was even wiser than Walter. Toola and Walter arrived at the center of the moon, and there he was, the Big Cheese himself, looking very glum. You see, he lived alone in the sky and had nobody to talk to ever. So when he saw Walter and Toola, boy, was he glad. Talk? You never heard anyone talk so much. Yakety, 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 yak. How are the rivers? How are the seas? How are the fairies, the birds, and the bees? Boy, oh boy, did he go on and on. Walter had to interrupt him and shout, "Hold on, Big Cheese! We need you to help us! Toola has forgotten her song!" "Wow!" said the Big Cheese. "Which song is—" He stopped himself. After all, he was the big cheese and was supposed to know everything. "Which one do you think?" Walter said. "Toola's song, of course," he continued. "But they all fit together," said Mr. Big Cheese, rather pleased with himself. "Anyway, they the songs, that is all they come from far away, but I haven't got the, um... He didn't finish his sentence. He didn't actually know the melodies of the songs himself, but he couldn't admit that, because then they would know that he didn't know, and then he wouldn't be the big cheese anymore. "I know what you should do. You must go to the far corner of the sky. There you will find a star system known as the Seven Sisters. They invented the songs that make the world turn. Go to them, and they will help you," spoke the big cheese rather grandly. "Who should we ask for?" said Walter. Replied the big cheese. Oh, yes. Ask for Princess Pleiades. She is the master orchestrator who put all the songs together before the songs went to the earth so many, many years ago." "How far is it to the Seven Sisters?" asked Toola. "Imagine meeting a real princess," she thought, feeling a little nervous. "Oh, just as far as the eye can see, I believe," replied the big cheese. "Well, have a safe journey. Farewell," smiled the big cheese. "Goodbye, goodbye," shouted Toola and Walter. With a swish of his wings and holding on to Toola, Walter flew into the twinkling sky. Stars shone everywhere, hundreds and thousands and millions and billions of them, maybe even more. "How many stars are there in the skies?" asked Toola in wonderment. "Dear Toola, there are as many stars in the sky as there are souls on the earth. And remember, we animals are not the only ones who have souls. Humans have souls too, you know," said Walter. "And where do souls come from?" asked Toola. "Oh, Toola, you really are so inquisitive, aren't you? Well, our blessed sun is full of bright electric life souls, don't you know? That's where we all come from, that one bright and beautiful sun. Does that answer your questions?" "Well, yes," replied Toola. "But isn't it rather hot there? Wouldn't all our souls burn up into a frazzle, sort of?" By now Walter was more engrossed in leading the correct way toward the Seven Sisters. "Toola, lest we forget, our souls aren't physical. They are pure perfection, so nothing can harm them, ever. Look, Toola, look!" You would not believe the sight they could see as they winged their way into the star system known as the Seven Sisters. Not only were there 7 large stars, but trillions of colorful dancing stars, all so tiny and immaculate. And they were singing, dancing, and creating incredible shapes, loops, pyramids, spheres, diamonds, all interwoven as if you were looking at a giant cosmic engine and encircling the Seven Sisters. Such a sight mere mortals could never imagine. Well, almost never. Both Walter and Toola alighted onto the branch of a delicate golden tree, with leaves of all the colors of the rainbow spinning around and around. "Pray, how can I help you, my wonderful ones? How may I be of service to you now?" said a voice that came from the golden tree. And the amazing thing was, when the tree spoke, zillions of light beings transformed the tree into a miraculous vision. A tall, slender, shining lady goddess, with flowing hair and robes all created by the fluorescent lights humming and bobbing all around. The lady walked slowly towards Walter and Toola, very carefully stepping over the zillion little stars at her feet, stars that were singing a million gentle songs just for the golden tree lady goddess. Suddenly Walter realized who she was. "Oh, I beg your pardon, Princess Pleiades! Oh, I do beg your pardon!" Walter repeated, bowing as low as he possibly could. "Your Highness! Your Highness!" said Toola, all a-dither. Now, let's have none of this," said the princess. "Well, maybe just a little then," she said, smiling, as she bowed back to Walter and Toola. "So how are you, and how may I help you?" "Well," said Walter, "Toola was singing her song when—" "Oh, excuse me," spoke the princess. Of course, it's you, Toola, it's you! I had a special dream a while ago about a sweet bird just like you, who was coming to relearn her song because her world had stopped when she'd forgotten it. That's you, Toola. Oh, thank you for coming all this way and making my dream come true, for I have news for you." The princess paused, and went on a bit more solemnly. "We, my sisters and I, have noticed how your earth has slowly but surely become more insecure and sad in such a way that the mountains are trembling, the trees are aching, the oceans are getting darker, the voice of twilight is getting very deep, and the clouds are getting angrier and angrier. It's as though the humans of the earth have forgotten altogether what is really dear to them. They have so much mistrust in each other and have so much fear and doubt that they treat their own earth with distaste." "Well, I could go on," she sighed, "but I won't. The important thing is that we, my sisters and I, decided some time ago to change the songs of the earth in order to reach more humans. You see, over the years of time, those wonderful humans whom we love so dearly have gradually forgotten the songs we sent the earth in the first days of heaven. And now here you are, Toola, ready to return the earth to the beginning of the new song cycle that will generate human and goodwill and will brighten even the darkest night or day. I will give you that song now." The princess closed her eyes, placed her hands over Toola, and said, "Suka, Suka, Absuka, Toola." At that very split second, Toola started singing as never before, her eyes full of glee. Then Walter started hooting a totally different hoot than he had ever hooted before, and all the stars started to giggle, so much was the happiness around them. Princess Pleiades was very pleased indeed, and with a swish and a wave she sent Toola and Walter back to earth, back to the giant tree in the woodland where they lived. But just before they landed they remembered something the princess had told them. It was something every true soul knows deep inside, whether human or not. This is what she said: "Each being has its own song to sing, and when it sings this song with love and good intentions, it simply helps the world go round in perfect harmony. Imagine, every single atom, every flower, fish, bird, tree, animal, and human being, all has its own unique song to sing and its own story to tell. So in order for the world to become a better place to live for everyone and everything, we must all sing our special song with love. Then, and only then, will the earth spin on its correct course to be the heaven again that it used to be." Well, here we are at the end of our true story. Yes, it's a true story. Toola sang again with her friends, and of course her song initiated a new song cycle that was heard all over the world, and put the world back in harmony again. As you can see, day by day, moment by moment, heartbeat by heartbeat, the world is becoming a better place for all beings, all humans, all nature, all starlight, all wisdom, all creation in the entire universe. All in all, and all that is love. Love, peace, and understanding. John and Jane Anderson. The end.